Hello everybody, Tracy Filter here with Tracy's Ink Spot. Thanks again for joining me for another Fun Fold Friday video. Today we're going to do a simple book fold, and you'll kind of get the idea of what that means because like the books have a spine, this card is going to have a spine and open like so. This is the landscape version, meaning that it goes horizontally. You could also flip this into a vertical version this way. And then in a future video, I'm going to show you how to do the vertical version where it's going to open this direction. So that one's going to be a portrait style. All right, let me just push this off to the side and I will show you some of the basics we've got going on here. So you're going to need a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score it at 4 1/4 and at 5 1/2. I'm going to use Night of Navy. And then for the rest of my sample for my design here, I'm going to tell you what my layers are, and you can of course make this whatever you need it to be. So my base layer of Designer Series paper is 4 by 4. Then I have a piece that's 1 by 4 that's going to go on the bookbinding part. And then for my focal point, I have a circle that's about 2 inches that was cut from the Stylish Shapes dies, and then that will get layered onto a piece of Designer Series paper that's 3 by 3. And then onto a piece of cardstock that's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I'll have all the dimensions and the supply listings and everything like that in the description of the video, so don't worry if you didn't catch that or didn't get a chance to write it down. Of course, you can always pause and go back. All right, I'm going to create my focal point today using the Nature's Prints stamp set, and that's going to be on page 91 of the current annual catalog. And I'm going to use a pretty monochromatic look here. I've got a lot of Night of Navy going through with just some other pops of different color blues that are going to highlight in there as well. All right, so I'm going to take my image here and I'm going to stamp it off a couple times because I want it to be lighter than my phrase, and my phrase is going to be done in the direct impression of Night of Navy. Add that over here. Okay, so there is my focal point. It says hello there. And in case I didn't point it out at the beginning, if you have a dark card base and you want to have a liner in here to stamp or write, you just need another square that's 4 by 4. So grab a neutral piece that matches whatever neutral palette you've got going on. Okay, so you're going to grab your 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock. Move this out of the way now. And you're going to put that in your paper trimmer and you're going to score it. So let me get the cutting blade out of the way. You're going to put it in and score it at 4 1/4. And you're going to score it again at 5 1/2. Okay, so you've got your score lines marked. Now on that 4 1/2 score line, that's of course the normal folding your card in half for this particular size card. So we're going to go ahead and give that a little bit of varnish. Now that 4 1/4 one, no, that's going to come back the other direction. Okay, so you're going to want to burnish that this way so that you kind of have like this little Z going on. Okay, now if you want to do anything like run ribbon or anything around this, you're going to want to do that before you seal it shut. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I have a piece of ribbon that I've already gone ahead and done with a little knot and everything, and there'll be a link in the description of the video as well of how I created this so that you can see how I had that set and ready to go. All right, I'm going to take my ribbon right to my glue dots and pull them off, make sure they're nice and attached like so. Okay, I'm going to leave my ribbon. Oh, you know what? I need to put my Designer Series paper on there first. Okay, grab your 1 by 4 piece if you are decorating that portion. That's going to go right in there. And again, these don't have to be Designer Series papers. You could use other pieces of cardstock, ones that you've stamped or embossed or something like that. So, or you can leave it blank if you want to leave it just the natural color of your card base. Okay, so I'm going ahead and I'm attaching that ribbon around the back with some glue dots. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive in here. And because this is a bit of a bulky fold, I'm going to be a little generous with my adhesive. Make sure we've got plenty going on in there. And that's just going to get taped down like so. All right, so now you have just this little portion that's going to be opening up. And remember, like I said, if you want to have a piece for the inside, go ahead and add a 4 by 4 piece of neutral cardstock for that. All righty. Then the rest is just some simple layering. I'm going to do that 3 by 3 piece onto the 3 1/4 piece of cardstock. 3 1/4 square, I should say. like so. I'm going to go ahead and add, now if you want to at any of these points do any bulking up the card with, raising up the card I should say, with dimensionals, please feel free to do that. I'm going to put this piece down directly, and then I'm going to pop up my next 2 layers. So I'm going to add a couple dimensionals to this one, pop those guys off. All right, so now this layer has a little bit of dimension to it. And lastly, I'm going to add a couple to my focal point image and peel those off. And now my focal point has one as well. Now in the first sample I showed you, I only popped up that base layer. So my circle is actually attached full on. So it just depends on, sometimes if you're mailing it, you want to have it a little bit flatter so that you don't get extra postage charges or something like that. So, all right, there is your book fold landscape style. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Take care.